Today, I'm going to talk about sleep, children's sleep. So many times I'm questioned about this. Now, I'm not talking about preparing children to go to sleep and those patterns and those systems and those protocols and flows that you need to do to get your children ready to go to sleep and they go to sleep easily. I'm talking about the things that people don't understand, that people don't consider. Parents who are struggling to get their children to sleep, they've tried all the sleep normal things you find on the internet and everywhere and books and things. I'm talking about something a little bit different that parents don't always notice. And there's a series of them. I'm going to tell you which ones I'm doing and we'll go through them and understand them. The first one I want to talk about is pain. Children under the age of 6 years old may not be telling you that they're in pain. They may not even know they're in pain. This pain can come from birth, from in the womb. It could have been there their whole lives and they don't know it. It's normal. And laying down in bed, even a small child, a baby, they wake up because their body, muscles and body hurts. So it could be a bone out of alignment, muscle pain. It could be any kind of pain we don't know. And let me tell you a story about this, which is in my book, How Not to Fuck Up Your Kids, about a client who came to see me with a 3-year-old that was unruly. Trouble at school, wouldn't sleep, wouldn't eat, couldn't control, constantly wanting to play on computer games and all these things, constantly looking for distraction, constantly looking for sugar, okay, and, well, sugary foods. As they walked into my therapy room, I watched this little boy walk, and his one leg was completely different to the other leg. I watched this happen down the hallway. So I asked his mother, how long has his leg been like that? She didn't know what it was. So he went to see an osteopath. He went to see a McTimoney chiropractor, actually, or an osteopath is fine. An appropriate person who's been trained to work with children. Okay? And it changed him. His hip was so out of alignment, probably out of alignment from giving birth. When that changed, his pain went away. His sleep improved. And straight away, he stopped needing the sugars. He stopped being hard work. He started studying better. He didn't need the TV screens and distractions anymore. He changed almost immediately. I've seen it over and over again. So if you're struggling to get your child to sleep, consider they may be in pain. They may need to see an appropriate trained osteopath or chiropractor or McTimoney chiropractor or somebody who works with these kind of bones and the structure of the body because they could be out of alignment. Now, let's talk about the second one. The second one I want to talk about is room temperature. Children should be snuggling in a cool room to get warm. They shouldn't be in a warm room because then they can't sleep. I've had actually recently 3 or 4 parents come to me with this issue, okay? And I've suggested that they cool the room down, okay? Keep that room cool, and immediately children start sleeping better because they snuggle to get warm. A child under 8 years old cannot regulate their body temperature sufficiently. They can warm up, but they don't know how to cool down. So you keep the room cool so that they can warm up in their sleep, not have to cool down. Because if they have to cool down, their body goes into panic and they wake up. Think about it from a caveman point of view. When we were cavemen and women and children, we slept in a cold cave, a cool environment. We warmed up. Okay? We didn't have to cool down. The cooling was there for us already. So make sure your kids' rooms are cool. Okay. Next one we can talk about is food. Very often children wake up because they're hungry. From babies to toddlers to 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds. Going to bed could be 8 o'clock and dinner could be 6 o'clock, and in that period of time they've already digested most of their food. Their body wakes up because they're hungry. At night when a child is asleep, they are growing. So they need the nutrients in the food, so they will wake up automatically. So, before a child goes to sleep, you should give them food that doesn't rock their insulin levels. So if you give a child food that pushes the insulin levels up very quickly, like refined sugars, very sweet fruits, those kind of things, that will make the child's insulin jump and drop, which can wake them up. We're talking about foods that are stable. Foods high in protein, yogurt. Foods that are, and yogurt without sugar in it. If you want to sweeten it slightly, put some fruit in it, or get some unsweetened yogurts with fruit inside it. Put a bit of honey inside it, just a little bit of maple syrup. These are natural sugars. They work much better. Okay, banana. You can make a smoothie with banana and some yogurt. You can give them oat biscuits. You can give them something meaty, like a bit of sausage or something like that. So their bellies have something in there that takes a long time to digest. This way, they won't wake up from being hungry, as long as it's not going to spike their insulin levels too high in carbohydrates or too high in sugars. The next thing we want to talk about is pajamas. Pajamas get in the way. So young babies, they need to be sleeping in a baby grow of some sort, a onesie as we call it in the UK. They need to have that warmth because their bodies do not cool down at all. They need to keep themselves warm, okay? But as they go into normal pajamas, be aware pajamas can restrict them. They roll over and it starts to pull on them and it starts to move around. Pajamas can be an issue. So stripping your children down, and again, they snuggle to get warm, could be a really good way to make sure your kids are sleeping well, okay? Making sure their feet are free and cooling down, because your feet cool down a lot. So rather have a little bit cold toes and cold feet that they can tuck up towards their body than really warm toasty feet that will wake them up because they're hot and sweaty. Okay, so pajamas can be an issue that are waking up children. Another thing about pajamas that happened to me personally with my stepson was I kept waking him up because the tag had rolled up in the neck and became scratchy. And that scratching every time he moved in his sleep was irritating him and waking him up. So being aware of tags and clothing is very important. Okay, these things help you to make sure your kids sleep well. The next thing I want to talk about is security and insecurity. When your children go to sleep, especially young children, okay, they may start to feel insecure. And this kind of ties in with noise, okay? So many parents come to me and say, the house is quiet, everything's calm, everything's quiet, nobody's moving. We've done everything we can to make the space so quiet that the child is now insecure, because a child is bred in a body with a heartbeat going boom, 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 and gurgling stomachs and noise. Especially babies, okay? Babies need noise to feel safe and secure, okay? And you can buy heartbeat machines and you can buy different things. A very close friend of mine recently had a baby and was struggling to get sleep. She said, every time baby's asleep, as soon as you go up to bed, baby wakes up, starts crying. I said, well, you turn off the telly, you turn off everything, and you go upstairs, the baby feels insecure. All of a sudden, there's no noise. So they put on a radio, they put on a TV in the spare bedroom, baby sleeping fine. Okay? So noise is needed. This dead silence is insecurity. A baby feels insecure. Toddlers and young children may feel insecure because they are supposed to be close to their parents. This is normal for children to be close to their parents. So it takes time for them to get used to sleeping in their own space. So they feel insecure if the parents just vanish. Okay? So making sure your child is safe in that environment can come and call you if they wake up. And that could be a pester to you, absolutely. But it'll get better and better if you don't worry about it or make it a big deal. But making children feel secure and safe, having a light on, having something on for them to feel secure in their bedroom, in their space they're sleeping, is really important. Okay? The other thing is stuff. Babies' rooms, kids' rooms is full of stuff. Lots and lots of toys, lots and lots of stuff, lots of things on the walls. Space. They need space. Now, this is an energetic thing. When there's space, the children have space to sleep. When there's clutter and things and stuff that seem to be more important than the child, that's not necessary. A cot full of things, not necessary. A space full of clutter and little bits and pieces, not necessary. If they have something to cuddle up with, that's fine. Okay, but not too much stuff getting in the way. Now, these things that I've spoken about, okay, I've spoken about very briefly. But if you start eliminating by going through these things, you will start to find that there may be one of these things that is causing issues with your child sleeping. Okay? The last thing I want to say is, if you really don't know what's happening and none of these things are working, try being your child. Try going to where your child is sleeping and sitting there or laying there. Try understanding what's going on. Maybe there's shadows going on. Maybe there's a draft coming that you don't know about. Maybe there's a noise going on underneath their bed. Maybe the boiler's too close by. Go and step into their shoes and be in that space when they're normally asleep there. So maybe you'll pick up something that's causing a problem. Maybe a light reflecting in, anything like that. These things can make a big difference to helping you understand why your children aren't sleeping. Thank you very much.